First corner, Almanza strikes back then from pole to lead, but
hugging the right-hand side of the track to try and keep that inside.
Trying to set up a move on the inside of Yamanaka. It goes around, hesitant on the brakes to fully commit into turn 3. Yamanaka.
Then it's Ogden and O'Gorman is on plays. Here comes starts for Vader.
Bit of a twitch on the brakes there with a full started in P8. That's where he currently sits at the moment. Oh, those two.
Looking at the other rookie slap.
Peeny out of the seat. It's been a real scrappy all 8. Peeny had a heart-stopping moment
in your picture. Then it's Carpe behind Quiles. The first lap, Perdana ahead of Munoz. That's the
3. First lap led by Almanza. He's got from an excellent 13th place. He lost the motor.
Ogden, we've got the Tech 3 and IOK Quiles. The 4 riders who Alvaro Carpe expected.
Here in Thailand, he was not old enough to I-5 come to the Chang International Circuit. Great corner. Side Yamanaka then has taken an early time. Pretty slow to get to his feet here. Just looking at our commentary box
on the screen. Here he is. He was on the outside, a little wide. Dirty part of the tarmac. Yamanaka crashing out.
Here, circuit. Keeler's there in second place. Carpe cracking the whip early on. 141 point
on screens. He's trudging away. A strong start over the rest. And of course, the first half of this, you can pick it up.
Yeah, that gap between Fernandez and facts are facts. Yeah. Statty Kiwi, he had 35 spills from a long way back on Carpe. As mentioned, the lovely move that on the inside of Carpe going into 5.
Honda Team Asia machine, then it's Munoz, followed by Brian Ariarte.
Perdana, so an excellent debut so far. Close enough, likewise Carpe not close enough to circuit. Yellow flags out in sector 4, but he has been able to remount. He's more than like 1,000 times here in Thailand. It had been a...
Yeah, it looked like it wrong-footed O'Shea on the M-Lab Honda running, but it is up in 3rd place. Perdana,
big moment. Yeah, that's why Quiles grabbed his attention a little bit, as he perhaps grabbed a little bit too. The tactician, very mature, letting the race come to him. He's seen that Almanza hasn't got the second place. What was that gap over the line? Yeah, Perdana.
On this lap, it's been sort of toing and froing between the 10th and Fernandez. It's KTM, Honda, and...
It's the best lap of the Grand Prix. He's really warming to this. It's over the line.
As the 83 trails the 3rd, taking opportunities into 3.
One rider who's a bit fat, the only rider on that last lap in the picked up by Uriarte. He's now still
Gorman and Esteban, and he's now lost. It's not the kind of process that you can really fast forward either. For
part of this Grand Prix, he's starting to recover a lot of progress.
Perdana's really closing this down. Look at this circuit as a former Asia Talent Cup champion, so through on Fernandez to finally take that 3rd place.
60 laps of the Grand Prix for Perdana, pretty much than Fernandez. Ahead at pre-Grand Prix. Indonesia has now tuning in back home in that their particular corner.
Buram, if he does get on the podium, lovely move fairly through into 3rd place. Carpe
41.3 from Perdana was 6, so 3 attempts quicker than any. A little bit careful, not get too carried away, which is easy.
Latched on to Perdana, so they're both cruising. Go with that leading group of 6. We'll keep an eye on his lap.
And 12, horribly wrong. He almost wrestled away from Fernandez rather aggressively at that turn. Peroni coming strong. Perdana, all of his momentum in that first sector, and now Perdana, it was a real scrap and got turn 3 all wrong as well.
Thought Perdana was going to free debut here, but not late enough on the brakes to scare.
I mean, we know MotoGP is to have one of their own to cheer on. Well, they have challenged for Honda Team Asia to find a replacement. Definitely a rub there, wasn't there, as they go through his Moto3 reputations, does he?
Well, this is helping. Carpe goes all wrong into the final corner. He's barely...
Carpe's suffering with that Pirelli front, isn't he, at the moment? He's in particular, we've seen him have all manner of problems. It was Ruwet versus Munoz before broken away. There's clear daylight between Almanza.
8th lap for Carpe. He did a 42.6. Second of the Red Bull KTM painted bikes behind.
That was lovely. That was a textbook move there. He knew that he had track position. There's not your tickets for the Lombok Grand Prix. And this would be some story, wouldn't it? Was the first ATC champion to go on to...
This time he does get his KTM stopped into the final, but the pace picking up at the front. 41.2 for Almanza, seconds off the lead.
There's a big screen opposite riders he's facing in this particular battle. A little bit slower than Almanza. Almanza of cracking. Perdana looking. Joel Esteban 8th. The top 10 rounding out says O'Shea and Kelso, although Adrian Cruz...
The top 2 start to really engage as Fernandez now in a battling for the final spot on the podium.
4 for the final place on the podium. This is a match from Honda Machinery to KTM as far as 22 into that turn 12, just sizing up. 19 underway, the gap down to just
find a way through. We'll get our answer over the next 8, but that was 5th and 6th that were ultimately changing hands.
Turn 3, just a slightly wide. Just checking the gap between Quiles and Almanza. Quiles sensing that See what Almansa's got left in the pocket.
He's led a lot of Moto3 Grand Prix, but Almansa would send if he can hold off the runaway.
On Perrone, going through turn 5, placed a 97, starting to carve his way through.
Back with each other, they need to be a little bit careful because they've lost a little bit. 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th that are down to your picture.
Might be as good as it gets for Morelli, having got to the cadet as well to hang on to that 7th. Uriarte, something just to occupy the mind of the rookie.
3 of Alvaro Carpe behind. I guess Carpe is right here on screen. It's the 22 of Almansa.
The Brit, 14th place. That's about down at the back end of the point scoring places. Medium talent in the Moto3 World Champion. Now, he'd have certainly been hoping to have been a little bit further up of hanging on to that final place on the podium. Yeah, Keeler turn 10-11 section. He's just, it's time to pounce, time to strike.
Have a counter-attack up his sleeve. He might have it straight back. He's having a look up the inside, but we're not clear of the intact debutant.
Being under the age limit and an injury, terrific fashion in Austin. Leading your first, he'd be breakaway from Almansa, behind him from Carpe, Fernandez and Perrone.
Fernandez, Perdana 5th, Perrone 6th. Even if all of Indonesia is hoping for, has now slightly...
A little bit defensive because you can sense Almansa try on that KTM. 18 Grand is very, very familiar opera. Carpe, Perdana, Perrone and Fernandez split by
Perdana going wide there into, it's like it's starting to run away from him straight.
He's got his head down, maybe just early on that big group fighting for second.
You can follow them from the helicopter shot, top left of yours. Regained the lead from Quiles, so he did have a counter-attack upon.
Going into the second split, turn 1. So
and throwing in that second group, it's now Carpe, Perrone, Fernandez and Perdana, and up and changing the group up ahead of him. They might just get there.
Far have been headed by Almansa, because we've seen it pretty just give Quiles a lit of 4. Well, Quiles just picked
go as we now jump back again into this battle. He's the sole, well, 2 Hondas, 2 KTMs. Carpe, he's surely well aware by now what's right behind him.
Some instant payback now as they head towards it. I think he has already announced himself on the world stage. Serious Grand Prix rider to cheer on. Fernandez now back up into P3.
Yeah, in terms of what he's up champion and Red Bull Rookies champion, and Valentin Perrone holding his own against.
Morelli is still 3 abreast, coming from a long, long way back. There goes Perdana.
This is so difficult to call, isn't it? Now he's up behind Carpe. He's who riding on.
A late rally coming here, a real impressive late charge. Been there pretty much since the start of the Grand Prix. Top 2 in the top left-hand corner of your screens. It is.
Yeah, that leading group, or the chasing group led by Morelli, they're probably just going to run out of time to catch them.
Breaks into this turn 12. Perrone's got the Perrone, who gave himself a lot of work to do, didn't he? Makes on the podium.
Yeah, he's got some great late race pace. Now, Quiles looks like he's once again an answer as he starts to realise what he's on the verge of.
Was where he claimed his 3 victories. Of the 2, it looks like Almansa slightly having to work where he will feel is the optimal moment to make in this battle. Fernandez, Carpe
on the brakes and has perhaps a little bit of a top end of the Moto3. So Perdana now with work to do in 6th.
Arte, Munoz, O'Gorman, Esteban, Ogden and Cruz. Can he get through on the brakes on the inside of Fernandez? The gap between Almansa and Keely Fernandez on the 31 bike of over 7 of turn 1. I think O'Gorman followed him.
He's now trying to get through on Carpe, but he goes back to where he was in 6th again.
It's Advantage Perdana who got the throttle picked up.
It's 42-2 from Morelli at the front.
Vibration on the front end of Perdana's Honda there as he grabbed. I mean, he could get swallowed up here. I mean, we're talking about, we've got about 2.5 laps remaining. Morelli 8.
Yeah, because they're doing similar pace to the leader. Might well cost them if they're not careful. Perrone's got no thought.
Second behind David Almansa with 2 laps to lap 17. The only rider really piles out wide on the 97 bike. Almansa is never, ever in his
sector, so one would assume it's something behind 20th place.
Horribly wrong, didn't it? Missed 13 Grand Prix quartet, maybe more of who's going to be. Oh, that's aggression. Going through 7.
Another look from Carpe. This 3 leads 31, leads 9. Top left.
Quiles there was desperate just to try. David Almansa, well, it's in his hands. In Quiles needs a belting.
Now going to struggle to catch him up again. He's got one more. This
would be a late month. This Thai Grand Prix. Are we through turn 4? He goes to build some speed.
Oh, Fernandez on Perdana. Their battle for fifth continues.
This is all going to be down. The first Grand Prix, they go through turn 10. Just 2. Does Almansa go? Keeler's almost on the grid. They go side by side. Over the line we go. Is our first winner in Moto3. 3 thousandths of a second.